Julian, Derrick Henry. DeForest comes in and says there's no one like him. When you click on the tape, what do you see?
There's no one like him. Just like DeForest said, we know that they're going to get him the ball. You know, last week they got him the ball 42 times. So finding different ways to get him the ball, whether it be screens and just the screens, really just getting them out and then isolating them. So we know what we got to do. We got to take him away, try to make them one-dimensional, and then go from there.
He's a guy who can wear on the defense, right? As the game goes on, I mean, he still seems to be as strong as he was.
That's why we practice the way we practice, so that as the game goes on, we get stronger. We push guys back. So, that's what we want going into this week. We know we got a big game. It's the first game of the conference, so we got to make sure that we bring it.
The thing about Henry is, for such a big guy, they really keep him on the perimeter a lot, right? They put you and Kari in those positions. How different is that with them not really running between the tackles? Like, they do run in between the tackles, but he does his best work in the face.
Yeah, I mean, we go against guys that are faster, that think that they can get to the outside all the time. So just knowing that we got to bring the same technique that we brought to other guys to this guy. And we know that he's bigger, so we got to make sure we practice, tackling and hamstring tackling. Make sure we do everything we can to get this guy on the ground.
Julian, you guys have played some great wideouts already this year. How would you compare Julio and A.J. Brown to what you've seen with those other teams?
They're right up there with all those duos, if not the best that we've seen. So we just got to make sure that you got to pay attention because tendencies. The big thing with offenses is they can't help but have tendencies. So just knowing where guys are aligned will kind of help you understand where you should be. And so at least for my position, because I can see everything, I try to tell guys, what I'm looking at, what I can see, because sometimes they can't see it.
If any, how much do you attribute some of the big plays to miscommunication?
Man, it's more of a technique thing. I would say, just making sure that sometimes guys are slipping. Sometimes our eyes are wrong. So it's just little things that we can do better that'll help us in those big plays.
When you watch the tape and you see a guy end up wide open like that has to be like a terrible feeling. What's that like?
It's the next play mentality for me. For me, it's almost like, okay, could I have helped there? Because I'm a free safety. I'm always, seeing everything. So if a guy comes free, could I have been there? It's the kind of thing where I take it under my own responsibility and be like, okay, maybe I should help there, and then we go watch the film and see what we can do better.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on Rock with Xavier being out. How do you grade Rock's performance?
Man, I mean, there's always pressure on the corners, and so from a corner standpoint, people go down. I mean, from a football standpoint, people go down. You got to be ready. It don't matter if Zave's out, Zave's in. You got to play. So at the end of the day, we trust Rock, we trust Zave, we trust whoever's the next guy mentality. We're going to be there for you. We're going to make sure that you know what you're doing. You're out there for a reason, so just go out there and make plays.
Julian, you mentioned first conference game. People like to prognosticate outside about what it means to be 0-2, 0-3. How important is it to keep perspective that those are all based on 16-game seasons? You get one more opportunity this year. And also, getting into the playoffs always starts by winning your division. You have that first opportunity this weekend. And
that's the best part about it, just like you said, is, we started 0-2, but, to get to the playoffs, you have to win these games. So at the end of the day, we just got to make sure that we're on our P's and Q's and taking care of this week, because what matters is this week.
Julian, you spoke about tackles, hamstring tackles, but with Derrick Henry, his stiff arm seems to be one of the more violent.
You see it on film.
Yeah, and I imagine you don't want to be put on film yourself. So
yeah.
How do you prepare for that?
You see me on film tackling him too. So, I mean, all I got to say is we're going to tackle him. Like, yes, we know he's going to stiff arm. Yes, we know that. We're going to tackle him. We have to. It's a point of emphasis for us to tackle him. 2-2. He's going to get the ball. Get him down. That's what we know, and we got to execute today. It starts today. Practice. It starts today. We got to do that right now.
Can you anticipate a stiff arm at all? Or?
Yes, I mean, yeah. With him, he's strong, so you really got to punch that thing down and do it another time, and then maybe try to get other guys looking, hey, come help me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here slapping his hand now. Somebody got to come run. So we just got to make sure that we on our P's and Q's, like I said, and take care of it.
But that's your thing, though, gang tackling.
Yes, sir.
You guys gang tackle?
Yes, sir.
Like you want to?
I think that we've been hustling the ball very well, but I also think that it starts at the very first play, man, making sure that they know that this is a 60-minute deal with us, man. This isn't just the first quarter, second quarter. This is all 60 minutes, and we gonna have 7+ to the ball every play. That's our goal.
And I sense you're getting a little fired up just talking about
Oh, my gosh, I'm excited.
Is tackling Derrick Henry just about having that mentality of, again, doing it for 4 quarters and continuing?
Just like you said, man, it's a mentality of a want to, because if you, as soon as you kind of pause and you're like, oh, what do I? No, you're on a highlight. You're on ESPN. That's what you're on. So you can't just second guess. You got to go in there and want to tackle. It's a want to thing. So.
Do you see when a guy like
Derrick is giving this slip on? Can you sense it, or you kind of just like, you know what, I'm just whatever happens, happens?
No, it's a technique. That's why we play defense. You know, it's a technique to understand guys like this. You have to know when you can take chances and when if it's open space, hold on, just get this guy down. But if you're in the trenches where you think you can take a shot, go take a shot, because everybody's running. You know, that's the whole point of being aggressive on defense, is knowing that you have guys running. And so that's why we try to keep force. We try to make sure everybody's doing what they got to do to file him into basically a line, trying to make sure everybody's getting to him. So that's what we practice.
Julian, how is Xavier handling not being able to play some every game last year?
He's a football player. He don't like it. He don't like watching. I mean, but, you know, that's the best part about it is his mentality is always in it, you know, and that's what helps a lot of guys is as long as your mind's in it, as long as you're mentally focused, you'll be all right.